Nick Bosa. And look, there is so much more going on in a game of football than just sacking a quarterback. I'm not saying that it's the only stat that matters. QB hits, pressures, tackles behind the line of scrimmage. That's all really good stuff. But none of it is as important as a sack because, like a knockout, a sack ends a play right there. No more damage can be done. No more worrying about this snap because this snap ends when that quarterback goes down and goes down hard. Heavy is the $170 million crown. Nick Bosa wears a $170 million crown. It's the largest contract ever given to a defensive player in the history of football. And with that comes expectations. And I have a level of expectations for Nick Bosa that while I appreciate the nuance, I'm telling you, it's that time of year where show me the sack. Nick Bosa hasn't recorded a sack in a month. Nick Bosa's last sack came with 7:33 left in the second quarter of the Arizona game. It was a strip sack of Kyler Murray. Arizona recovered the fumble. But that's December 17th. Nick Bosa has not recorded a sack since December 17th. He is too good to not have a sack between Christmas and Martin Luther King Day, with the highest leverage games of the year being played. Nick Bosa, it's time to get home, brother. It's time to cash in on the highest paycheck ever given to a defensive player. 18 quarters of football. 18 quarters of football since Nick Bosa has gotten home on a quarterback. And look, it's been a down year for the defensive line because it's been a down year for Nick Bosa. He didn't have more than 2 sacks in a single game at any point in time this year. His 10.5 sacks is the fewest sacks that he's had in his last 3 seasons. He did have 5 quarterback hits against Jordan Love. Again, a game that left a lot of complaints on the table. You go back and rewatch it. One of the first things you'll admit to yourself is, on a day where there was plenty to complain about, maybe I should complain about Nick Bosa's performance in this game less because he did hit Jordan Love 5 different times, but he's only had 3 other quarterback hits since that Arizona game. He is not getting home. He is not hitting the quarterback. He is not doing much more than moving the pocket, which is valuable. But I'm tired of having to be a sommelier of defensive line appreciation to appreciate this. I should just be able to look at it, sip it, say, that's delicious, I like it, pour more. And that's sacks. That's sacks. 8 quarterback hits in a month of high leverage football. That's what he's had in his last month. 8 quarterback hits, 0 sacks in the highest leverage football games of the entire season. And so it's time for more. It is time for more from Nick Bosa. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's time to officially wake up the Buckeye boys. Like, you guys upset that Michigan got a win over the Buckeyes again? You upset that the Wolverines are the national champs? Get over it. Chase Young, it's time for you to do something. And it's not just time for you to do something for the 49ers. It's time for you to do something for your own career. Like, we talk about walk years and contract years being great, powerful motivators. Well, Chase Young has not done much in a 49ers uniform to the point where I'm telling you right now, 49ers aren't bringing him back. So Chase Young is not only trying to help the Niners win something huge this year, but he's also auditioning for where he's going to play next year. This guy, since putting on a 49ers uniform, Chase Young has 10 total tackles, 5 of them solo, and he has 1 sack. But that 1 sack is a bit of an illusion because he hasn't recorded an entire sack on his own in any one 49er game. He had a half a sack against Arizona and a half a sack against Baltimore. Chase Young, you're a physical specimen. But your get off, your bend, your speed, all the words you hear the defensive end and edge rusher sommeliers continue to talk about throughout the tasting menu. 3 total quarterback hits. 3 total quarterback hits. I have 0. He only has 3. He needs more. The 49ers in a game of beef need more from their beefy Buckeyes. Straight up. There's just no, I mean, I don't care how you go about producing more. I don't care. Do it. Chase Young, maybe you're a false prophet. I don't know. Nick Bosa, you're not a false prophet. You're a real prophet. But it was a down year, buddy. The first time you cashed that major paycheck, and he's clearly somebody whose holdout is far away enough to where it's not mattering anymore. He is a physical specimen. There isn't an ounce of fat anywhere on that man's body. He is committed to the bit, the role. And that's part of the reason why he gets paid what he gets paid. This man puts the work in. He puts the nutritional choices into his own equation. He's done everything to prepare himself for this moment. Now it's time to live up to it. Nick Bosa, Jared Goff is the closest. And how about this? Jared Goff is the last stationary target you're going to see all year, either because you lost to the Lions or you got to the Super Bowl and you know for a fact that neither Patrick Mahomes nor Lamar Jackson is a stationary target. If this team, if the Buckeye boys aren't all over Jared Goff, I don't know if they deserve to go to Las Vegas. So it's time to wake up. It's time, Nick Bosa. It's time, Chase Young. It's time, Eric Armstead. It's time, Javon Hargrave. It's time, Javon Kinlaw. It's time. These guys are one of the highest drafted, highest compensated defensive lines that we know when they are on it, the other team's chances of winning descends dramatically. Maybe why a few of these games at the end of the year have not been dramatic wins for the 49ers have been because these guys are not getting what they're paid highly done to do. They got to get it done. Got to get it done. Buckeye boys, wake up. It's time. It was also the perfect time for the sip of the day. There it is. After not seeing a sip of the day on Friday or Monday due to previous broadcasts and coffee consumption, you got your sip of the day right there. Gosh, I'm going to go in for another. Excuse me. That's good. That's perfect. That might be the sip of the month. Nick Bosa hasn't had a sack in a month. He needs a sack. He needs a sack. I see the postman asking a question. Is Bosa playing too many snaps in the regular season? His fuel tank might be running low. Nope. No. And I don't think that's a problem. I don't think energy is a problem when you had the layoff that the Niners afforded themselves. I don't think that is the issue. Getting home is the issue. I don't know why it's become an issue for this guy. But he's got to. Heavy is the head that wears the crown of the largest defensive contract ever handed out. Expectations go up with that, not down. He had a down year based on expectations. He can make all that vanish with a couple of sacks in the next couple of games. And I'm not trying to say that they're automatically going to beat Detroit or anything, but if Nick Bosa's getting to Jared Goff, it's going to help the 49ers get to Las Vegas.